It's a beautiful day in Chicago, Illinois, but this evening we're inside Lane Gymnasium. Lane Tech and Payton set to tip off in just a few minutes in Silent Night 2022 here at Lane Gymnasium. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Alex Burstein, above the court here at Lane Tech. If it sounds a little bit quieter than usual, you would be correct. It's Silent Night here at Lane Tech, so all the Lane Tech fans supposed to make no noise until Lane scores their 10th point of the night. That hopefully coming sooner than later for the fans, but we'll see what's happened, and then they will erupt into cheers, supposedly. But to the product on the court, it should be a fun one. Both these teams enter with 9 losses on the season, 16 wins for Lane Tech, 12 for Payton. But as of recent, it has been all Lane Tech in this series. The Grizzlies have not beaten Lane since 2009, so Payton has really struggled against Lane. We saw these two teams last meet 2 years ago when Payton was in the Red Northwest. They dropped to the White North. They will not be back in the White North. They will not be back in the Red, next season. So these two teams will have to face off against in non-conference play if they do so again next year. We'll take you down to the court here at Lane Gymnasium. As we mentioned, just under 10 minutes to go until tip-off, 8:30, and it's a big day of action here in IHSA basketball for Illinois, but more importantly, state brackets were released, so we are going to get you through those brackets. Payton will actually be hosting a regional. They are in one of the harder sectionals in 3A. Both these teams are in some of their hardest sectionals in their state, starting off with 3A in the Chicago Kings sectional for Payton. So as we mentioned, they're hosting a regional, but they are hosting a regional with number 2 Westinghouse, who will be the highest seed in that regional. Westinghouse will face off against the winner of Elmwood Park and Aspera/Business and Finance from Chicago. So Westinghouse should roll through that matchup, and they will face the winner of Payton and Amundsen. That's a 6-10 matchup, so Payton actually enters as the pretty big favorite in that one, the Grizzlies over Amundsen, but we'll see what happens. Those games scheduled for Wednesday the 23rd at 6 and 7:30 p.m. respectively. In that sectional, as you mentioned, it's a pretty stacked sectional. So you have St. Ignatius as the number 1 seed, Fenwick is a 4 seed, and Prosser is a 5 seed. Prosser, the Eagles, someone to look out for. They've been impressive this year. However, to do some prep for this game, possibly the most impressive win all season long for Payton. They actually beat Prosser 61-52. Prosser went on to win the White North, so they'll be in the Red next year. So that was a pretty quality win for Payton, one of their better ones of the season. And then also in their sectional, De La Salle, who has been kind of an off and on team this year. They get the 3 seed, and Schurz the 7 seed in that sectional, along with a couple other teams. Schurz, I mean, you can always see them winning a game or two. They've had a very tough schedule this year. They've struggled through it, but they're playing in the Red Northwest, which is one of the harder conferences in the state. So who knows if the Bulldogs can pull off a couple of upsets in the regionals and sectionals this year. As for Lane Tech, they are a 4A team, one of the bigger teams in the state, so of course they'll be playing in the biggest classification in IHSA. They are in the Proviso West sectional this year, and it is just stacked. We'll take you through the top 10, or we might take you through all the seeds here. So Lane Tech is actually in the best regional, quite possibly. They're facing off against Downers Grove North, the 7 seed. Lane Tech through the 9 seed on Wednesday the 23rd at 7:30 p.m. But that game is going to be at Whitney Young, so an in-conference game for Lane Tech, possibly in the regional final. Whitney Young, the number 1 overall seed, hosting their regional. They will face off against the winner of Argo and Juarez, who are the 16 and 17 seeds. Elsewhere in the sectional, and the Riverside Brookfield regional, the Riverside Brookfield, the 4 seed, they'll face off against Proviso West, a 13 seed, and the winner of that one will get the winner of OPRF, Oak Park River Forest versus Jones. That is a 6 versus 12 matchup. And then the other 2 regionals here are going to be number 2 Curie at number 15 Downers Grove South. That game is at Hinsdale Central. In the other semifinal there, it is number 8 Hinsdale Central facing off against number 10 Morden. And then finally number 3 Lions taking on number 14 Layden, and number 5 Proviso East taking on number 11 Lincoln Park as part of the Proviso East Regional. All of these games are on Wednesday the 23rd. The way it's scheduled this year is going to be a super busy night of action. all the games, I believe, in regional semifinals against all 4 classes scheduled for Wednesday the 23rd. So there'll be a lot of action. We'll, of course, be at Whitney Young for that game, having full coverage for hopefully that and more. If Lane Tech wins, they'll take on probably Whitney Young in the regional final, and then going from there, it will be an interesting road for Lane Tech. The sectional, as we mentioned, at Proviso West this year. Proviso West, they're a lower seed. They come in as just a 13 seed, but they'll hope to make it to their own home court for the sectionals, which semifinals and finals, which will both be held there. We have about 4:20 to go until tip-off here at Lane Gymnasium, so we're going to get you your starting lineups first for the visiting Payton Grizzlies. This Payton team has a bunch of different parts who are really good, and we'll see how they are able to connect tonight. So starting for them, it'll be number 1, Brendan Ricketts, a 5'10 senior. He's at a couple of big games this year, but he had 4 steals against Crane, so very impressive defensively from Ricketts. We'll see what he can do tonight. Going along with him, the point guard / shooting guard, number 5, Julian Villegas, the 6'1 senior. He was all-conference last year. He has been super impressive this season for Payton, and we'll hope to get that going for them once again tonight. Then it will be number 21, Nate Robb, the 6'6 junior. This team has a lot of really good juniors in their starting lineup. Robb might be the best out of all of them. Brings some size to this team. The forward has been really impressive this year, and it will be interesting to see what he does tonight. Going along with him, number 23, Brennan Moore, the 6'3 junior. Decent scorer on this team. And finally, number 33, Jack Kendrick, the 6'5 senior. So Payton will actually be the bigger team in this one, believe it or not. Lane Tech enters as the heavy favorite just looking at records and scores, but Payton will actually have the size with that 6'5 and 6'6 starters. So we'll see what the Grizzlies are able to do with that. As for Lane Tech, they are going with their normal starting 5, as it has been the last couple of weeks. This is what they did against Curie on Monday in that 20-point loss to the Condors. We'll have some talk about the city championship coming up later tonight, but as for Lane Tech, they'll be going with their normal 5. Number 1, Sean Malloy, coming off of a 15-point performance. He gets the start to go along with number 5, Ethan Grunebaum. Number 22, Shahid Solibo, who had 16 points, 9 rebounds against Curie. He had, I think, 11 in the first quarter and then kind of quieted down. He'll hope to be productive against all 4 quarters tonight. And then it will be number 23, Stephen Goonan, and number 24, Lucas Basil, the big man, getting the start for Lane Tech this evening. 2:15 to go until tip-off here at Lane Gymnasium. Decent fan turnout. This is one of the last home games of the season for Lane Tech. Both these teams are winding down their regular seasons. As we mentioned, they will start state playoffs in 2 weeks. However, a couple more games for each of these teams. Payton is scheduled to have a game against Oak Forest tomorrow. They might have had a different game last night, so I'm not sure if they're still playing that, but we will try to get that under second-year head coach Ross Burt. The Grizzlies looking for a couple of season-ending victories before state. And then for Lane Tech, they have 3 more games, 2 after tonight. Tomorrow will be the home finale for Lane, taking on Maine East at 3 p.m. Lane's already beat Maine East this season. However, that was on the road and might have been unofficial. It was kind of a blurry line, but that was a makeup game after Niles West could not play in the final of the Maine East Holiday Tournament. So they'll face off against them tomorrow, and then they will face off against Mather on the road, the final test before state playoffs for Lane Tech at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. That game's on the road. We will have full coverage for you from the Mather Gymnasium. Just over a minute to go until tip-off here at Lane Tech. So we'll get you through your starting lineups once again for the visiting Payton Grizzlies. It'll be number 1, Brendan Ricketts, number 5, Julian Villegas, number 21, Nate Robb, number 23, Brennan Moore, and number 33, Jack Kendrick. The 3 you should really keep an eye on tonight, number 5, Villegas, number 21, Robb, and number 33, Kendrick. They've all been really impressive this year, and they will hope to do some damage tonight against Lane Tech. It's going to be a tough matchup for the Grizzlies, but they'll see what they can do tonight. And as for Lane Tech, as we mentioned, going with their normal usual 5 of Malloy, Grundebaum, Solibo, Goonan, and Basil. I believe we are going to have the national anthem here at Lane Tech, so when we get to that, we will turn it to the public address system. Lane Tech looking to get win number 17 on the season. They could not get it on Monday against Curie, but they have the chance to do it tonight against the Payton Grizzlies. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Just about time for tip-off here at Lane Gymnasium. Some Friday night non-conference action at home for Lane Tech this final time this regular season. The last time the Payton Grizzlies got a win against Lane Tech, that was back in 2009, January 2009. So I was 4 years old. It has been a long time since the Grizzlies have taken a victory against Lane Tech, and they will hope to flip the switch tonight. It has been 8 straight victories for Lane Tech over the Grizzlies over the past 12 years or so. Lane Tech will be rolling tonight with their normal starting 5 as they look to get their offense going after putting up only 41 points on Monday night against Curie. Obviously, two very different teams, Payton and Curie, but we will see if Lane Tech is able to hit their shots. They were missing a lot of open threes and whatnot on Monday evening against the Condors. They're just going over the starting lineups on the court here, but we already went through those. We'll go through them once again. It's Malloy, Grunebaum, Salibo, Goonan, and Basil, your 5 on the court to start things off for Lane Tech. And it'll be Rickett, Villejas, Rob, Moore, and Kendrick, your 5 for the Payton Grizzlies. As we mentioned in our pregame, Payton actually looks like they might have the height advantage to start things off tonight. Lane Tech's gone into a lot of games this year with the height advantage. Today, it'll be in favor of the Grizzlies, large in part to the 6'6" and 6'5" heights of Rob and Kendrick, respectively. I'm guessing we'll see Rob in the middle to start things off because he is an inch taller listed than Kendrick, but we'll see in a second, and I'm assuming Lucas Basil will start in the circle for Lane Tech. Both the head coaches having a final word with their teams, Ross Burt in his second year with this Payton team, and Nicholas Legalbo with Lane Tech. And now looks like we're ready for a tip-off here. 3 officials ready for tip here, and Lane Tech looking to cruise to 17 wins, but in their way, a Payton Grizzlies team who are very determined in tonight's matchup. In the circle to start things off, as you mentioned, Lucas Basil for Lane Tech, and Nate Robb, the 6'6" junior, so he has a bright future ahead of him for the Payton Grizzlies. Payton coming off a 6-4 year last season. They've got into 12 wins so far this year. Obviously, it was shortened last season, and the tip's going to be won by Payton. That's what we were talking about, the height advantage. We'll see what they can do with that offensively here. 7:50 to go, quarter number 1. Alex Burstyn on the call here from above the court at Lane Gymnasium. Rob with it, being guarded by Basil. Big man on big man matchup. Now they'll get it inside to Kendrick. Back out to Rob. Rob playing kind of like a guard here to start things off. 5 guys around the perimeter for Payton. We'll see if they can get an early shot. They'll get it at the hands of Villejas. He can't get to go, and that will go out on Lane Tech. So Payton's actually going to get it to, they're going to get possession here once again here in quarter number 1. 7:27 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Lane Tech yet to touch the ball here in the first frame of action. Nate Robb with it. He's going to pass it out to his point guard, Villegas. As he mentioned, all conference honors for him last year. They're going to swing out the pass. 3 on its way, no good. That one will be rebounded off a Payton player, and Lane Tech will get it back. So Lane Tech finally gets possession here. 49 seconds into the first quarter, 7:10 and counting. Ethan Grunebaum will bring the ball up the court for Lane Tech. Grunebaum gets a screen to his left from Basil. Pick and roll here. Lane Tech hasn't done a lot of those this year. Now the floater from Goonan just a little bit short, and Payton will get it back. 0-0. A minute into this one, 6:51 to go. Quarter number 1 of action, as Brennan Moore will get the ball after missing that last 3, and they'll get it into the corner now. Tight man-to-man defense from Lane Tech early on. Now Kendrick in the corner, still seeing these 4 or 5 guys on the perimeter for Payton. They have not been moving the ball inside a lot. The 3 on its way from Kendrick, no good. Rebounded by Malloy here. Cold shooting from both teams out of the gate here. 6:20 to go, quarter number 1, still locked in at 0-0. Ethan Grunebaum will get it for Lane Tech outside the perimeter. Lane Tech fans sticking with this no cheering rule through the first until Lane Tech gets 10 points. If we keep at this pace, it could be a long time the Lane Tech student section is not cheering. Payton not letting Lane Tech players get free at any point. Malloy finally pulls up for 2 and gets it. Sean Malloy hits the first basket of the night. He's on the scoreboard coming off a big performance against Curie on Monday night. And Lane Tech finally breaks the draw here at Lane Gymnasium. An early 2-0 lead for them. The three on its way from Rob, no good, but the rebound there. Now the three from Villegas, he's got it. A three-pointer from the Grizzlies, and they've got an early response, and they are in the lead for the first time tonight. 5:35 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Ethan Grunebaum with it for Lane Tech. Lane plays a similar all guys on the perimeter offense sometime. We'll see if they roll with that tonight. They get it inside the Basil. On the ground there was Rob, but he gets up quickly, so Basil gets double teamed. Solibo driving in, goes up for 2, and he will take 2 shots. Wasn't sure if Solibo took an extra step there and they were going to call a travel. They don't, and instead Shahid Solibo, the star sophomore, will head to the line to shoot a pair for Lane Tech. 3-2, the early lead for the Grizzlies here. 5:15 to go, quarter number 1, as the first shot is good, goes in for Solibo and knocks us up at 3. Wasn't really expecting this one to be close. However, almost 3 minutes into this one, and we are all locked in at 3. Solibo misses the second shot, and we will stay at 3-3 now. 5:10 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Payton hasn't been great shooting. They have just 1 made field goal, but that's been enough to match Lane Tech's offense early on here tonight. As a block here from Basil, Villegas gets it, and now it'll go off of Grunebaum. Villegas came out of nowhere there to get the ball, and now Payton will inbound it underneath their scoring basket here. 3-3, 4:56 to go, quarter number 1 of action. A long pass is going to be intercepted by Malloy. He has open court in front of him, goes up for the 2 and gets it to go. And Lane Tech will take back the lead. 5-3 now, 4:45 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Back and forth game early on here from Lane Gymnasium. Just 3 points on the scoreboard for the Grizzlies, coming off a basket from Julian Villegas. He drives in, goes up for 2. Speaking of the point guard, but misses it, and Malloy is off to the races. Hands it off to Solibo. Solibo, 1 point here early on tonight. A 2-point lead for Lane with 4:20 to go in the first quarter. We'll reach a mass timeout soon here at Lane Gymnasium. Solibo drives right-hand side to the basket and gets it to go. He had about 3 guys guarding him, but finds his way easily to the basket and gets it to go. We'll have the first sub into the game soon for Payton. No subs yet for Lane Tech, and Solibo's going to get called for a foul there with exactly 3 minutes on the clock. First foul called this afternoon on Lane Tech, 1 already called on Payton, and we will have a mass timeout. So when we're back from the timeout, it'll be number 20, Joe Heidkamp, the 6'4 senior, making his first minutes of the game. Brennan Ricketts, the 5'10 senior, checks out after a quiet couple of minutes. 7-3, Lane Tech finally maybe starting to find their offense. 4 from Malloy, 3 from Solibo. Those two have been the primary scorers all season long for Lane Tech, and they have all of Lane Tech's offense 4 minutes into the first quarter here at Lane Gymnasium. They finally were able to find how to drive and score against this Payton team. As we mentioned, Payton has a couple of big guys, so they will likely be crowding there inside the paint all night long, but you really saw it with that last drive from Solibo. He just went straight into that defense from Payton, was not scared, found his way through their arms, and got the 2 to go quite easily. That's what Solibo's been good with all year long, along with the 3 ball. And he gets it to go, and the lead up to 4, the biggest it's been all night long for Lane Tech right now over the Payton Grizzlies. Breaking the mass timeout, it'll be the same 5 for Lane Tech, as we mentioned. Heidkamp coming in for the Grizzlies, and Payton will inbound it with about half the court to go. Grizzlies in their navy blue away jerseys, going left to right on your, right to left on your screen. Lane Tech going left to right in their home whites. Driving in, Moore passes it out. Another 3 on its way. This one airballed. 0 for 2 shooting from Jack Kendrick from beyond the arc to start things off. Solibo drives in. This time he gets blocked. Lane Tech with a second chance. Grunebaum misses the 3. Lane Tech getting close to that 10-point margin. 10 points scored, As we mentioned in our pregame, it is silent night here at Lane Gymnasium, so all the Lane fans quiet until Lane Tech scores their 10th point, which could be coming up soon. Payton really reliant on the 3 ball. Villegas misses a 3, and that will be rebounded by the Grizzlies. The 2 on its way, and good there from Nate Robb. And Payton back on the scoreboard. They were quiet for a couple of minutes, but they cut it to a 2-point game here. 3:08 to go, quarter number 1 of action. About 5 minutes into this one. Salibo and Malloy, the only 2 scores for Lane Tech. Salibo will take a few steps out and give it to his teammates Malloy. Not a super big student section for Payton, but they've been loud here early on tonight. 2:45 to go, quarter number 1. Goonan gets open. Still no subs for Lane Tech. This might be the longest we've seen Lane go all season long without a substitution. Malloy drives in, gets open to the basket, but can't get it to go. Nice drive there from Malloy, but he can't finish, and still a 2-point Lane Tech lead. Payton can tie it or take the lead here with a field goal. 2:20 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Alex bursting on the call here from Lane Gymnasium. A nice crowd on hand for some Friday night hoops. Crowds this season have been pretty good for Lane Tech. I remember 2 years ago, there was a couple of games, not many people showed up. That has not been the case here at Lane this season, as Jack Tsor checks in to the game for Stephen Goonan, the first sub all night long for Lane Tech. Tsor was in the starting lineup for most of the season. Now he's been the first guy off the bench for the last couple of weeks. As Grunewald will get to Basil as we reach the 2-minute mark to go. Malloy spin move gets it to go. Malloy has 6 tonight. He's rolling, and it is a 4-point Lane Tech lead. Under 2 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Lane Tech has not been able to pull away early against this Payton team. They've been making a couple shots to stay in it, and there's another one. A 3-pointer from Brennan Moore cuts it to a 1-point game here. 1:40 to go, 100 seconds in the first quarter of play, and it's a 1-point game. Lane Tech just needs 1 point to get their crowd going. Could we see it here? 9-8, 1:30 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Jack Tsor will dribble it out. Looks like a zone right now here from Payton. A 2-3 from the top as Basil goes in, goes up for 2 and gets it. Lane Tech crowd goes crazy as they finally hit that double-digit mark, and Lucas Basil will head to the line to make it a 3-point play, hopefully. Scoreboard hasn't added the points, but I believe they counted it as an and 1. As Villegas is going to check out of the game. Kind of surprising there. Brendan Ricketts will check back in as Ethan Grunebaum also checks out for Joseph Perona. So they do count the basket, so it'll be 11-8. Lane Tech with a 3-point lead here. Basil, who's been an up and down free throw shooter this year, will try to complete the 3-point play. He can't, and it will stick out a 3-point lead here. 1:15 to go, quarter number 1 of action. Grizzlies hanging with Lane Tech early on. Another 3 on its way. This one no good from Heidkamp. They've been a lot of good looks for Payton on the 3 ball. They have not been able to convert many of them. And now a turnover from Perona. He runs out of bounds, and they are going to say he stepped out of bounds with possession. Payton really happy with that call. And Parker Springer is going to check into the game for Lucas Basil after that missed free throw. Early 3-point lead for Lane Tech, but a 3 from Payton, where they've scored most of their points, could get them back in this game and tie it up. As Brendan Moore will pass it off. Far side, Rob with it. Now top the key, Heidkamp. He passes it off. Thought his foot was on the line, however, refs won't call it. Payton, when I talked to their coach, this game was originally supposed to be last month, and when I talked with him, he said, this team is really unselfish, and you have seen that tonight. Almost every single guy getting possession, touches on the ball every possession, it seems, as Malloy drives to the basket, and he'll get fouled. He's getting those calls early on, and he will head to the line to try to increase this lead. That is the 3rd team foul of the half on the Grizzlies. An 11-8 lead here early on for Lane Tech. 6 points for Sean Malloy, who has been really impressive so far this game and all season long, as he makes the first one. Well on his way to surpassing his 15 points on on Monday against Curie. He had 22, a career high against St. Ignatius. As Villegas checked back into the game after a short time on the bench. And Malloy makes his second one. So 2 for 2 from the line, 2 for 3 overall for Lane Tech today. And the lead up to 5. I think the largest it's been today here for Lane Tech. 20 seconds to go, quarter number 1 of action. Point guard driving towards the baseline, now a 3 on its way, and nothing but net there from Joe Heidkamp. This Payton team hitting the buckets when it matters. 13-11, 7 seconds to go in the first quarter. Lane Tech looking to hold for one final shot and take a bigger lead into the break. Malloy, spin move, goes up for 2, gets it to go. Sean Malloy with a nice move to the basket. He scores as time expires, and it will be a 4-point Lane Tech lead as we head into the second quarter. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Well, a competitive first 8 minutes of play here from Lane Gymnasium. A 4-point lead for Lane Tech as we enter the second frame of action. To start off the quarter for Payton, looks like it will be Kyle Osterman coming in. I think this is his first minutes of the game for the 6'1 junior, number 15. Lane Tech sticking with the same, oh no, Hayden Matthews coming in here to start off the second quarter for Lane Tech. Matthews has been playing some minutes early on, mostly later in the game, but they put in Matthews here, who has a very dangerous 3-ball early in the second quarter. Lane Tech gets it to start things off, and the clock is running here in the second quarter. 15-11, a 4-point lead for Lane Tech as they enter the second 8 minutes of play. Perona, nice move to the basket, and he finishes from the left side. Payton, Lane Tech with the first points of the quarter here quickly against the Grizzlies. Aggressive defense there from Perona, but the Grizzlies able to get it past half court. And now a steal from Jack Tsor off the hands of Perona. He's going to drive to the basket and one. Wow. I thought he picked that one up too early. He picked up his dribble from, I think, the free throw line or above. Had a tough route to the basket. He gets pulled down and hits the basket. And Lane Tech's lead, now the biggest it's been all day, 19-11. They can hit the 20-point mark here with the free throw, and they do. Jack Tsor gets on the scoreboard for the first time tonight in exciting fashion. 22-11 to score, 7:25 to go, quarter number 2 of action. It's back and forth to start off the second quarter. Payton looking to get back in this one. Missed 3 there, and Hayden Matthews will get his first touches of the game here. Malloy driving left-hand side, gets it out to Tsor with the hot hand. Pulls for 3, can't get it to go. And the rebound there, easy from Rob, who's been somewhat quiet here tonight against Lane Tech. Driving to the basket, a block there from Lane Tech. Villegas unable to get in for the score, but Payton with another offensive rebound. That's been probably the best area we've seen Payton play in all game long. Really strong with the offensive rebounds, something Lane Tech has struggled with getting here this season. Ricketts driving, right-hand side, goes up for 2, can't get it. 6.5 to go, quarter number 2, and a jump ball is going to be called. Big call there for Payton, as they are going to keep the basketball, as a couple subs into the game for Payton, as Heidkamp, Moore, and Kendrick all check back into the game for the Grizzlies to go with Villegas and Ricketts, who were already on the court. 6:34 to go, quarter number 2 of action. Villegas gets it in the corner here, and they'll give it back to him, but Perona there for the steal. Wide open, gets to the basket, way too easy there for Joseph Perona. He has 4 quick points for Lane Tech. Not 98 seconds into this quarter, and a 30-second timeout will be called by Ross Burt and the Payton Grizzlies. Nice job from Lane Tech. They looked tired to start off the first quarter. They were not making their shots, but they have picked it up here in quarter number 2, out to an 11-point lead here with 6:22 to go in the second quarter, forcing the Grizzlies to call their first timeout of the night, the first timeout called by either team. Head coach Ross Burt in his second year as head coach of this Payton team. Payton's had a lot of back and forth with coaches passing there. They'll find an open Villegas here. He drives the baseline, goes up for two. The reverse layup can't get to go. That would have been a beautiful finish, but the point guard can't finish. And it will stay Payton ball, but no points on the scoreboard on that drive from the Grizzlies. Cheerleaders walking into the gymnasium here at Lane Tech. 6 minutes to go, quarter number 2 of action. More with it, the 6'3" junior. He passes it all the way out to Ricketts. Ricketts has been playing as kind of a secondary point guard to Villegas here early on tonight. As speaking of him, he drives to the basket and will get a block. Oh, they're going to call a charge. So a charge taken from Lane Tech, as Ethan Grunenbaum will check in for Sean Malloy. A big call there for Lane, and they get the basket back. No damage done. This Payton team has not scored in the second quarter, where it's 15-11 to start off the second quarter, and it is now 22-11. The Lane Tech offense really finding their footing as Matthews pulls for three, goes in and out. Anthony Zanders into the game for Lane Tech to go along with Perona, Grunenbaum, Matthews, and Springer. 5:26 to go. Driving to the basket. Ricketts can't convert the two, and Lane Tech will get it back. Payton unable to score here early on in the second. A long pass. Matthews came out of nowhere to save that one. Looked like it was going straight into the Payton bench, but they will get ball control. Another big pass. Matthews catch and shoot. Can't get it to go. Springer will get the rebound, though. And another chance for Lane Tech. Grunenbaum takes it to the basket, and they call a charge. Oh boy, that would have been quite the play. However, they call a charge on Ethan Grunenbaum. And getting the ball back will be Payton. That's the second foul, first foul, I believe, called on Ethan Grunenbaum here tonight. 5:01 to go, quarter number 1 of play. Gave the basket on the scoreboard, but we're sticking at 22-11 here still with under 5 to play in quarter number 2 of action. Losing the basketball, they'll give it out here to Kendrick. He pulls up for the long two. Lane Tech wanted a travel there. They won't get it. And Ethan Grunenbaum will bring things up the court slowly. Lane Tech with the 11-point lead here in quarter number 2 of action. They're playing in no rush. They have the double-digit lead, and Saliba will get called for the travel there. Took a little step and then moved a little bit more, and Payton will get it back. Lane Tech had their hot stretch to start this quarter, but their offense has kind of cooled off. However, for Payton, they have not found a way to get on the scoreboard, so it has not mattered for Lane Tech. They have still doubled the Grizzlies' score here with 4:24 to go in quarter number 2. Villegas gets the pass to Ricketts. Ricketts driving all the way to the basket. Way too easy of a finish there for the 5'10" senior, and Payton finally scores here in the second quarter. Ricketts doing some prep for him. He's not had a lot of big statistics games for Payton this year, but he's been really impressive early on here tonight as Saliba gets it to an open Springer. A rare three-point attempt from the big man. No good. Gets his own rebound out to Matthews. Matthews wide open for three, and that's money. You do not leave Hayden Matthews open. He hits the three, and Lane Tech back out to a 12-point lead, the biggest it's been tonight here with 3:40 to go. We'll have a mass timeout soon at the next dead ball between these two teams as Kendrick with it underneath the basket. Had the height advantage, unable to finish though, and Springer will eat up the rebound. It's a little bit of a size mismatch there. Zanders on the guarding Kendrick, but nice job from Zanders defensively, and they keep him off the scoreboard. 3:15 to go, quarter number 2, and Zanders is going to get called for a travel. Took one step too early. Lucas Basil and Sean Malloy will check in, but first a mass timeout here from Lane Gymnasium. 25-13 the score, 3:14 to go in quarter number 2 of action. So it was a slow start for both teams offensively. It was 3-3 through the first 3 minutes of play, and since then it has been almost all Lane Tech. It has been a 8-2 scoring run from Lane to start off this quarter. Excuse me, a 10-2 scoring run for Lane Tech to open up this quarter. A lot of those points were in the first couple of minutes of play where they scored a couple of quick baskets. Their whole team was getting involved, we should note that a lot of the Lane Tech players have scored now after it was pretty much only Salibo and Malloy to start things off. Now they've kind of balanced out the scoring, and it's worked great for them as they have a 12-point lead here with 3:14 to go in quarter number 2 of action. Malloy leads all scorers with 10. No Grizzlies in the double digits yet. Malloy really productive scoring-wise. He's been mainly just driving to the basket and getting those ones, which has worked great there for Sean Malloy. Out of the timeout, it is going to be, I believe, it'll be Payton basketball after the travel there from Xanders, as the Grizzlies will look to end the half strong here. As we mentioned, 8 straight losses for the Grizzlies against Lane Tech. They've really struggled against this Lane Tech team, and we've seen signs of that early here in quarter number 2. Another shout out to the fans here at Lane Gymnasium. The Payton student section has been really loud and almost packed to the brim here for some Friday night hoops, the last night game at Lane Gymnasium this season, because they will not be hosting a regional. Steven Goonan going to check into the game soon for Lane Tech as the clock ticks under 3 minutes to go. Steal here, Salibo gets it and loses it, now gets it again. Somehow kept his dribble there, passes it to an open Xanders, catch and pull for 3, can't get to go. Rebounded underneath the basket there by Ricketts. 2:45 to go, quarter number 2 now, as they hand it off to Villegas, who will bring things out, being guarded by Grunewald. Man-to-man here for Lane Tech as Salibo punches the ball away. And another chance here offensively for the Grizzlies. Xanders will check out of the game after that missed 3. Goonan comes back in for Lane Tech. 2.5 to play until the halftime break here at Lane Gymnasium. Lane Tech's defense done a really good job here, even with some size mismatches. They've done a really good job here in quarter number 2. The 3 on its way, in and out there from Rob. There's been a couple of those from Payton that have just gone around the rim and out. Unfortunate for the Grizzlies. Grunewald gets his defender on the ground, can't finish, and they are going to say a carry by Ricketts right after he got the ball. So nice job there by Grunewald finding the open shot. Does not get the score, but Lane Tech will have another chance at it here with 2:12 to go in quarter number 2 of action. Ethan Grunewald will get it to Salibo. Salibo just so fast and such an impressive score. Really a dual threat for Lane Tech as Malloy misses the quick 2. And Payton will get it back. Under 2 to go. Lane Tech's offense has gone cold the last couple of minutes. Just 2 points this entire quarter for the Grizzlies. So neither team with their best night offensively. Lane Tech has done a little better though, taking the 12-point lead here with 1:45 to go. Villegas pulls for 3, can't get to go. Made one of those in the first quarter, can't make another one. Malloy fighting for the steal, gets it, going in, and reverse layup. Lane Tech has gone for some crazy layups here tonight. Converted on a couple of them, but that will not be one of them, and that bullet pass right into the hands of Salibo. He gets it back, goes up for 2, and they are going to call a foul there. Another time looked like Salibo might get called for the travel, but instead they are going to say he was shooting, and he will get 2 free throws here with 1:25 to go in quarter number 1. That's team foul number 6 on Payton. Lane has only had 1 foul this entire quarter. This entire half, so almost 2 quarters here from Lane Gymnasium. A really clean game from Lane Tech. 25-13 the score, 1:25 to go. Salibo goes up for the first shot and gets it to go. Salibo, one of the more consistent guys. It lines up with the top scorers. Salibo and Malloy have been the most consistent free throw shooters, and it's shown as they are also the 2 leading scorers for Lane Tech. As Salibo goes 2 for 2 from the line, and it's up to a 14-point lead for Lane Tech here with 80 seconds to go in quarter number 2 of action. Payton, as he mentioned, just 1 field goal this entire quarter and no free throws, so just 2 points as the 3 on its way. Another one in and out. In there for the putback, though, is number 20, Joe Heidkamp. And he finally got some more points on the scoreboard for the Grizzlies. Under a minute to play, quarter number 2. We'll see if Lane holds for a final shot. Looks like they won't, as they're passing it around pretty quickly here. Down low, Salibo loses it, fighting on the ground for it, and Payton will get it. That was the worst case scenario for Lane Tech. Almost forced a jump ball. Instead, Villegas gets the fast break, but unable to score. as we are going to stick at a 12-point lead for Lane Tech. 35 seconds to go, quarter number 2 of action. Goonan will get it to Saliba. Saliba wide open, decides to fire the 3 and gets it to go. 9 points in the first half for Shahid Saliba. Lane Tech hits the 30-point mark, and they have doubled Payton's score once again, 30-15 with 15 seconds to go. Pulls for 3 and finally getting it is Kendrick. Missed a couple of those earlier on from the corner, decides to take it a little more close to center, and he scores. 3 seconds from Malloy. Made a buzzer beater at the end of quarter number 1, and he is going to get jump ball. They will say that is the end of the quarter. So no heroics at the end of the second quarter for Lane Tech, but they will take a 12-point lead into the halftime break over the Grizzlies, holding Payton to just 8 points in that third quarter. 7 points in that second quarter of play. Really impressive stuff from the Lane Tech defense as they take a lead on the Grizzlies. We're going to have a short halftime break here from Lane Gymnasium, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes to recap the first 16 minutes of play and get you ready for the second 16 as Lane Tech looks to make it 9 in a row against the Payton Grizzlies. We'll be back in a second. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Halftime here at Lane Gymnasium, 30-18, a 12-point lead for Lane Sac over the Payton Grizzlies. It was a slow start for both the teams, but Lane Sac able to wake up a little bit quicker than Payton, and they have the 12-point lead heading into the second 16 minutes of play. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from above midcourt here at Lane Gymnasium. Lane Sac's offense finally finding its footing. 19 combined points from Shahid Solibo and Sean Malloy, 10 from Malloy and 9 from Solibo respectively. Good nights for both of them, and they'll hope to keep it going as Lane Sac is probably scoring the ball a little bit better than we've seen them score in the last couple of games. They only had 41 against Curie, so they're very close to already being that score here with 16 minutes to play. Cheerleaders are going to do a performance on the court, so we'll take you down to our court view here. 5 minutes to go in the halftime break until we get ready for some more action between Lane Sac and Payton. It's not a super busy night for either of the conferences these two teams are in. Just one other game going on for, no other games going on for the Red Northwest teams, Lane Sac and Payton. The only matchup, it is there's a nice games coming up in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's the big one. Whitney Young taking on Curie at Credit One Union Arena. I think it's a 7 p.m. tip-off, but that one is for the city title, and it's going to be a good one. We talked about it on Monday, just kind of previewing how the rest of the city playoffs are going to go, and I will admit, I got pretty much every single matchup wrong. We had the semifinals right with Simeon and Curie and Whitney Young taking on Kenwood. However, I said it was going to be a Kenwood-Simeon final. However, Kenwood gets knocked off by Whitney Young. Whitney Young finally hitting their stride at the right time of the year. And then for Curie, they knock off Simeon. That might have been an even bigger upset. Both of those teams, very quality teams. However, Simeon's just been so good this year, and Curie was able to win it. Both of those games, I was following along on Twitter, and it seemed as if Whitney and Curie kind of led from tip-off to final whistle, so they were able to kind of lead from start to end. So it'll be interesting to see how those two teams play at Credit One Union Arena tomorrow night for the city title. Also the girls city title game and JV title games for, I think, boys and girls. So a busy day of Chicago Public League action tomorrow. As you mentioned, this is the only game going on. A couple of teams in the Red Northwest have no more scheduled games until state. That would be Westinghouse, North Lawndale, Farragut, and Marshall, all playing no more games until state finals. Two teams in the Danville shootout tomorrow. That will be Orr taking on Normal West, and Lincoln Park taking on the host Daniel tomorrow. And then Antioch will take on Clark at Clark on Wednesday, and the Shures Bulldogs will take on Eisenhower on Tuesday. And the final couple of non-conference games between state for Red Northwest teams. A couple more games tonight, or one more game tonight in the White West, where Payton finished third overall. They actually got the last possible win they needed over Wells to qualify for the city playoffs and get that number 3 spot in the conference. They were beat out by Perspectives MSA, who we know had a great season, 9-0 in conference play, and Austin, who went 6-2. Payton went 5-4 in conference play. I was putting together my charts last night for the White West, and it was just crazy how similar these teams are. If you go from Austin to Raby, here's our conference records: 6-2, 5-4, 5-4, 4-4, 4-5, 4-5, and 4-5. So over half the conference just separated by 1 or 2 games. It was super evenly matched, and then you have Perspectives MSA at the top with 9-0, and Collins and Clemente at the bottom with 3-6 and 0-9. But just crazy records from a bunch of these teams. As we mentioned, Payton finished third. Oak Lawn will take on Jones tonight at 6:30. Englewood STEM taking on Raby on Tuesday. Wells taking on Vaughn in the semifinals for the Constellation tournament in CPS. It's kind of, Payton was the finals team to get it, so they had to face off against a really strong Clark team in the varsity winners bracket, which means they didn't really have much of a chance to go far in state. The teams who did not make it to the varsity winners bracket played in kind of a constellation tournament, and the semifinals are tomorrow or one of those being Wells taking on Von Steuben, and then Clemente will take on Solorio. on Tuesday. Collins, Legal Prep, and Crane and Austin all have no more games yet left until state playoffs, and Perspectives MSA will take on Meechin on Wednesday. 48 seconds to go. The Payton Grizzlies gain a couple of last-minute shots up before they start off the third quarter of play here at Lane Gymnasium. They're going to need a couple of those shots to fall in game here if they want a chance to take the victory here at Lane Gymnasium. A 12-point deficit for the Grizzlies entering the second 16 of play. Looks like it'll be the same 5 on the court for Lane Tech to start off this third quarter of play, that being Basil, Goonan, Grundebaum, Solibo, and Malloy. Alex Burson on the call here from Lane Gymnasium. A fun one it's been so far. Great fan turnout, a couple of halftime performances, and Lane Tech's looking to give their fans something to be excited about for the second 16 minutes of play as well. 30-18 the score as we enter the second half. Looks like it'll be the same starting 5 for Payton as well. On the court right now, it is Rob and Moore, and then joining them momentarily should be Kendrick, Villegas, and Ricketts for the Grizzlies. Their coaches are going to call for one more second with their players as Payton head coach Ross Burt takes a second to talk with his team. The Lane players just stuck waiting for the inbound pass. The scoreboard shows it's Lane Tech possession, so looks as if Lane Tech, now going from right to left, is going to start off this third quarter of play and try to get some early points on the scoreboard. It was a slow start to quarter number 1. It was a hot start to quarter number 2 for Lane Tech offensively. We'll see what they can do in quarter number 3 here as Ethan Grundebaum brings the ball up the court for Lane Tech as we start off quarter number 3 of play here from Lane Gymnasium. Solibo with 9 points for Lane, second leading scorer for Lane Tech. Will get it back from Grundebaum, now down low to Basil. He's been quiet tonight, goes up for 2, unable to finish. Solibo came in there trying for the offensive rebound, but Payton will get it back. A good stop there from the Grizzlies to start off the third quarter of play. Villegas, one of the more impressive players on the court. A lot of these Payton guys have been pretty impressive, just off the ball and dribbling it. They just have not found a way to score. I think the leading scorer 5, both 5 from both Moore and Rob here in the game for Payton. Good defense here from Lane Tech early on, quarter number 3, 7:15 to go in the quarter. No one scored yet in the third quarter play. Driving right-hand side, going up for 2 and gets the bounce in there. Brennan Moore, he will take control of the scoring lead for Payton, and he gets the Grizzlies to 20 points. It looked like that was going to bounce outside, however, took a weird bounce and is able to score. 30-20, 6:50 to go. Quarter number 3 of action. Grundebaum with it for Lane Tech, comes to his left-hand side. Kind of the same play, except this time it's Malloy instead of Basil. Malloy unable to finish. Payton got the lucky bounce, but Lane unable to get the lucky roll there. And Payton trying to get back to a double-digit game, something that has not been in a while. Villegas, dead center 3, hits it. Nice shot there from the point guard, and it is a 7-point lead. 5 straight points from Payton to start off this quarter, and they are back in this one. 6:15 to go in the quarter. Stephen Goonan with it for Lane Tech. A 3 attempt from Malloy, no good. He's 0 for 2 shooting to start off this quarter, but Solibo will somehow get the offensive rebound. Malloy just saved it from going back court, and now they'll find an open Grundebaum. Long 3, can't get to go. Grundebaum was at an awkward angle there with Villegas guarding him, and he had to throw up a shot. 5:45 to go in quarter number 3. Weird pass there, the 3 on its way, and good from Nate Robb. This Payton offense is rolling, and it's a 4-point game. A timeout called from head coach Nicholas Legalbo for Lane Tech, and it is just a 4-point game here. The Payton offense off and rolling here in quarter number 3. So we saw Payton took some more shots at halftime than Lane Tech did, and looks like that is paying off. 8 straight points to go along with none from Lane Tech to start off this third quarter, and it was 30-18. Now it's 30-26, and head coach Nicholas Legalbo forced to call a 30-second timeout for Lane Tech. So an amazing start for Payton. Their three-point shooting has really helped their offense all game long. Back-to-back threes get them back into this one, and we'll see what they can do here with 5:37 to go in quarter number 3. Just the first time out taken all day long from Lane Tech. Both teams have 4 left in the game as Stephen Goonan will inbound it to Sean Malloy here. Length of the court to go for Lane Tech. As we mentioned, it was a slow start to the first quarter, Lane Tech offensively. Then they were hot to end it. Hot to start the second quarter, cool to end it. Cool to start off this third quarter. We'll see if they can finally heat up their offense. Ethan Grunenbaum gets it to Solibo here near side. Solibo decides to go in by himself. Tried to pass it off to Springer, but that one will be swatted away from Nate Robb. And Lane Tech will keep possession but have to redo things underneath their scoring basket. 5:19 to go. Grunenbaum wide open, pulls for 3 and gets it. A response 3 there from Ethan Grunenbaum when Lane Tech needed it. And it's 33-26. I got to give credit to these Payton fans. Just listening through my headset to the different fan noises, they're definitely outnumbered, but they are getting loud, almost as loud or louder than Lane Tech is after each made possession. 4:55 to go, quarter number 3, a 7-point lead for Lane Tech. Villegas pulls for another 3, air ball there, but it will be rebounded. They'll have a second chance, driving the baseline, and they'll call a foul there on Lane Tech. We'll see who was called on. I assumed Lane was going to get it. And Payton will keep possession here. Maybe they just called a violation of some sort as no one came over to the scorer's table. No fouls yet this half for either team. But Payton will keep possession, 33-26, 4:46 to go in the third quarter. Payton definitely has the momentum here as the 3-ball on its way and good. Julian Villegas, and it is a 4-point game. Payton responds with a 3 from Ethan Grunenbaum with a 3 of their own. And it is a 4-point game with 4:20 to go in quarter number 3. This Payton offense seemingly making everything they make, and Lane Tech with a couple of errors as that pass thrown away over the head of Lane Tech, and Payton will get it back. They can cut it to a 1-possession game here with 4:14 to go in the game. Grunin with a steal. Lane Tech's offense has thrived most all season long when they are trying to go off of turnovers, so we'll see what they can do offensively here. Solibo gets it to Springer. 4 minutes to go. We'll have a mass timeout soon. And you think Lane Tech definitely needs another timeout as Grunenbaum pulls for 3 and gets another one. Ethan Grunenbaum with back-to-back 3s for Lane Tech, and it's 36-29. 3:45 to go. Villegas gets it to Moore there on the far side. Moore, tight defense from Grunenbaum, and they are going to throw it away. Refs say Payton basketball did not go, went off either Grunenbaum or Solibo there, and the Grizzlies will take over possession, and now the refs switch it. So 2 of the referees talk things over, and Lane Tech will get it back. So nice change of events there from Lane Tech. They have the momentum from that 3 from Grunenbaum, and now they will have possession too. Grunenbaum trying to make it another one. Can't, goes off the back of the rim, rebounded by Springer. Springer out to Goonan. He pulls for 3 and gets it. Stephen Goonan is joining out in the 3-point party that both of these teams are having. It's a 10-point lead once again for Lane Tech. They get it back to double digits after it was as low as 4 points. 3 on its way, and it's good. Another 3-pointer. Brennan Moore hits it, and Payton cuts it back to a 7-point lead. The 2 teams just trading 3-pointers here. That is point number 7, 8, 9, and 10, for Moore as he gets to double digits. 39-32, 2:47 to go in quarter number 3. I had 40, so there's a chance they ruled one of those a 2 for Lane Tech, or I was just off by 1 point. Solibo drives to the basket and gets it to go. Lane Tech Gymnasium getting the loudest it's been tonight as the stud sophomore drives to the basket. Villegas with a response of his own and gets it. seems like whatever Payton does, Lane Tech does it themselves, and a timeout, a mass timeout is going to be called. Kind of interesting there, not off of a dead ball, as Springer's going to limp off the court for Lane Tech. We'll see if he stays on the court or if there's going to be a substitution. 2:23 to go, quarter number 3 of play, 41-34, a 7-point lead for Lane Tech. This is kind of the same story we saw in the first half of play. Both teams were kind of quiet. Payton was hitting their shots more so at the start of the third quarter than they were at the start of the first, but now they have just really come alive offensively. But whatever Lane Tech does, Payton matches, and because of that, Lane Tech is able to hold on to a 7-point lead here with 2:23 to go in the third quarter. We're gearing up for a fun finish here at Lane Gymnasium. Just over 10 minutes of gameplay left here between the Grizzlies and Lane Tech. Lane Tech looking to protect their long winning streak against this Payton team. Payton looking to get a win and kind of reset the series here between Lane Tech and Payton. Payton was in the red. They fell to the white, had okay time in the white this season, finishing third, 5-4 overall, but they're hoping to get their program back on the rise. Javari Shafay, if you remember that name, was the big driving force for the Grizzlies a couple seasons ago, and they're trying to get back to like when he was playing. And a win against Lane Tech today would do great things for the program. 2:15 to go, quarter number 3. Jack Tsor with it for Lane Tech, gets it to Salibo. Salibo, Tsor, Malloy, Goonan, and Grunebaum on the court for Lane Tech, as Salibo unable to finish there for Lane. Finally, we see the pace kind of slowing down. We saw back-to-back quick threes, then driving to the basket as Villegas does that, unable to finish. But the team's finally deciding to slow things down here, catching a breath with 1:50 to go in quarter number 3. Malloy, spin move. He's going to lose it, but Jack Tsor's in the right place at the right time. He gets double teamed, and a timeout is going to be called. Tsor threw it towards Grunebaum, but Grunebaum was too busy calling a timeout to the referee to even see it. Luckily, the referees will call it. That is a full timeout called by Lane Tech. So that will be their second taken today. They will have 3 likely for the final quarter of action. Kind of interesting there. Jack Tsor was in a position where he could possibly turn it over, and Lane Tech decides they really do not want that, and they throw it away. They call a timeout before throwing it away to make sure that they don't give the ball back to the Grizzlies. I gotta say, this might be the cleanest game we have seen and will see all season long for Lane Tech. We had one in the first quarter of, one in the first half of play for Lane Tech, and now they have 0 through almost the whole third quarter. So super clean for Lane Tech so far today. Payton was close to putting Lane Tech into the bonus. They had 6 in the third quarter, but they have 0 now here in the third quarter of play. So refs not calling much, and they're just letting the game play out. 41-34, 100 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It'll be Lane Tech basketball. Jack Tsor, Stephen Goonan, Joseph Perona, Shahid Salibo, and Sean Malloy into the game for Lane Tech. They get to Goonan, hands it off to Malloy here. Lane Tech looking for an open shot. They find it in Salibo, unable to make the 3. Salibo's really struggled from almost that exact same spot all season, the last couple of games for Lane Tech. Lane Tech wanted to say that the Payton player had stepped out of bounds. However, the Grizzlies will keep possession. Villegas pulls for 3, can't get to go. Rebound here for Perona. So both the team's offensives have quieted down a little bit. Perona tried with the pass to Salibo, and a turnover here for Lane Tech. Villegas driving to the basket. He gets it to go. He's really shown off his wheels on a couple of occasions here tonight, scoring for the Grizzlies, and is a 5-point game. 55 seconds to go. We'll see if Lane Tech holds for one final shot here, or if they keep their offense going. 48 seconds now to go. Quarter number 3. Malloy, spin move, drives up, goes for 2, can't get it to go. Malloy has really quieted down offensively. I think he had 10 at the half, and he still has 10 as the 3 no good there from Heidkamp. Fighting for the rebound. Goonan will get it. Player on the ground for Payton. However, Lane Tech will not be able to push it with the 5-on-4 advantage as Jack Tsor pulls for 2 and gets it. his second made field goal of the game. Not as flashy as the first one, but 2 points nonetheless for Lane Tech. 15 seconds. Payton looking like they'll hold for one final shot here, as Jaden Lula into the game for the Grizzlies, number 4. And they're going to say out of bounds on Payton there. Don't think they called a foul. So Lane Tech will have a chance for one final shot here. 6.3 seconds to go. Malloy, Zanders, Solibo, Perona, and the missing one here in Soar. So all 3-point threats on the court for Lane Tech. Malloy, buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter. We'll see what he can do here. Screen to his left, pulls for 3, can't get it to go, in and out. And that will bring us to the end of 3 quarters of play, 43-36. It's a 7-point lead for Lane Tech over Payton. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech basketball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. We're in for a fun finish here at Lane Gymnasium. A 7-point lead for Lane Tech as we enter the final 8 minutes of play. It was a hot start to the game to the quarter for Payton, and then it was just back and forth basketball, and Lane able to take a good lead into the fourth quarter. However, just a quick couple of shots from Payton, and this could be a close one again. 8 minutes on the clock. Grizzlies will start off the fourth quarter with the basketball. Jaden Lula, the 6'9" junior, with the ball, passes it off, and now they'll swing it around. 5 guys still on the perimeter here for Payton. Driving in Ricketts, passes it out. Villegas pulls for 3, can't get to go. Somewhat rare miss for the senior. A nice Perona catch there, but he will lose it. Lane Tech really wanted a foul, and instead they are going to call a travel on Payton. So initially, Lane Tech wanted the foul called on one of the Payton players. Perona made a great catch and then had to kind of fight through a couple guys. And now they're going to say it is a travel as soon as Payton gets the basketball. As checking out of the game will be Kendrick. As the first, no, there are no foul calls, excuse me. Still no fouls called here in the second half for either team. As Moore checks into the game for Kendrick. Perona trying to get to work on Lula, right-hand side. They are going to call another foul, so that will be the first foul of the quarter here. A couple of ref whistle stops here early in the quarter. They're going to say it was on the ground, though, so Jack Sor will inbound it. Sean Malloy takes a seat on the bench. Ethan Grunebahn with a couple of big threes there in the third quarter. 7 points on the night for him will come in. Gets the basketball, decides not to shoot immediately, and instead will let Lane Tech reset their offense. 7:20 to go, quarter number 4. Jack Sor had the open shot there, instead tries to pass it off. Perona, though, luckily in the right place. He gets blocked from behind, and possession will stay with Lane Tech. So now third chance Lane Tech has, this time down the court. 43-36, 7:14 to go. Grunebahn catch, pulls for 3, can't get it. Fighting for the rebound. Perona comes up with it. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds, though, and Payton will get it back. So Lula did not play much of the first 3 quarters. Now he is. Not sure why. Maybe he's their closer on this team, and he's getting some quality minutes here in crunch time for the Grizzlies. No one has scored yet here in the fourth quarter, and a timeout is going to be called. We'll see which team it was called on. It's going to be a 30-second timeout called for Lane. So interesting there. 51 seconds into the quarter. Neither team has scored. It will be paid in possession, but head coach Nicholas Legalbo decides to pull the plug and call a short timeout for Lane Tech here as we near the end of the game here. Still 7:09 to play, but Layton Tech hoping to hold on to this lead. They probably would have liked it to be a bigger win. This is one of their kind of tune-up games before state. They're going to have a tough road in state. We talked about this a little pregame, but they get a 9 seed, which means they're going to be the underdog through at least the sectional semifinals likely. The 9 seed taking on 7, Downers Grove North, which, if you ask me, obviously I call these Layton Tech games, but I think it's a winnable game for Layton Tech there, and then they'll have likely a rematch against Whitney Young, who they lost to, and this time they'll be at Whitney Young's house. Can't imagine what a state playoff atmosphere there for that rivalry would be like. We'll see if we get a chance to see it 2 weeks from today. Payton basketball, length of the court to go, and they are going to say he stepped out of bounds. Layton Tech's full court press works beautifully. They get it to Villegas. He steps out of bounds almost immediately, and Layton Tech gets it back. Maybe that's what they were drawing up in that timeout. It works great. Salibo kind of catches the Payton defense lacking, and he gets the quick 2. First points in a little while for Salibo, and it is a 45-36 lead for Layton Tech. Couple more of those and this game could be over. We'll see what Layton Tech can do, but first it starts with getting the defensive stop here. Villegas passes it out. Now Ricketts will slow things down. Ricketts really good on defense. He's been good on offense here tonight as well. As Villegas drives in, goes up for 2 and finishes. First foul of the half on Layton Tech, and what a finish there from the Grizzlies. Who other than Julian Villegas, the point guard. He gets the 2 to go, and it is once again a 7-point lead, and it can be a 6-point lead here if he makes the second one. Lula will check out. Kendrick comes back in. Foul was called on Jack Soar, as we mentioned, just the first of this half, second of the game called on Layton Tech. And he will miss the free throw, so unable to convert the 3-point play, but the offensive rebound, Payton will have another chance at it. Driving to the basket, Villegas goes up for 2, can't get it. Grunewald fighting for the rebound, comes up with it after a bounce. Sean Malloy will check into the game soon for Layton Tech. 6:20 to go, quarter number 3 of action, a 7-point lead for Lane over Payton. Salibo, spin move, goes up for 2, can't finish. There's been a lot of and ones tonight. There's been some fouls called while running to the basket. Unable to get the and one here, but Salibo will head back to the free throw line. Went 2 for 2 while on a trip to the line earlier on in the first half. 6:10 to go now, quarter number 3. Salibo had a decent game against Curie on Monday as he makes the first one. 16 points in that one. He has 13 right now, so we'll see if he's able to beat that as Malloy checks into the game for Xanders here. Foul was called on Kendrick, just his first of the game, second this half for Payton, and Salibo makes another one. Perfect from the free throw line today, 14 points for him, and the lead back up to 8. Jack Sorf, tight defense, they're going to call a foul instead. Looked like it was a clean poke there, but instead they'll say there was some contact, and Payton will keep possession. Another foul here, so after, maybe we jinxed it, after saying there was no fouls, they've picked up quite drastically here at the start of the fourth quarter, not even 2 minutes in to this fourth quarter of play. Villegas with it, 6 minutes to go, quarter number 4, to decide the winner in this non-conference matchup. Third to last game this regular season for Layton Tech, and that one will be turned over there by Ricketts. Layton Tech, less than 24-hour turnaround before they face off against Maine East tomorrow as Salibo pulls for 3, can't get to go, rebounded there by Rob. Just a rebounding machine for this Payton team, standing at 6'6". Driving to the basket, 3-pointer blocked out of here from Ethan Grunebaum. Ethan Grunebaum has been a quiet defensive threat the last few games for Layton Tech with some blocks and whatnot. He's been really impressive. And Payton will inbound it once again. 5:30 to go. 47-38. A wide open Kendrick. Jack Soar comes out of nowhere for the block. 2 blocks that possession for Layton Tech. And now Payton will have a third chance at it. They got rejected their first 2 offensive tries. We'll see what happens here. Struggle getting the inbound in. They'll finally find Kendrick here. 5:26 to go, quarter number 4. Rob with it, coming from the corner, almost comes all the way across, goes up for two, can't get the bounce, but down low, the putback is good from Brennan Moore. If you're Lane Tech, you do not want Brennan Moore to be able to get the rebound that easily, but he is able to and gets the quick putback here. 7-point lead for Lane Tech, 5 minutes to go in the fourth frame of action here from Lane Tech. Ethan Grunebaum driving right-hand side, throws it off to Salibo, and they will slow things down. Lane Tech taking some seconds off the clock, which is important, but they need to end this possession with some points on the scoreboard. Springer, Tsor, Salibo, Grunebaum, and Malloy, your 5 on the court for Lane Tech. Some movement as Salibo just holds the basketball, tries to get it to Malloy, and that's going to be a steal. Malloy was just a little too close to a couple of Payton defenders, and now we'll find an open Ricketts, drives to the basket, throws it out. Kendrick thought about the three. Instead, they're going to call it travel. He just could not make up his mind quick enough. And the 6'5 senior, who's been really impressive this season, it turns it over. Kendrick's been a part of this team for so long. Started on varsity midway through his sophomore year, now a senior, but gets the turnover there to give Lane Tech back the basketball. 4:18 to go, quarter number 4. We'll have a mass timeout again soon. We'll see how much time Lane Tech can take off the clock this time. Malloy goes straight to the basket, tried to get it to Salibo, and that went right off the leg of Salibo. Malloy wanted a foul there, and Goonan will check into the game for Jack Tsor. Almost having a mass timeout here, but a slow final 20 seconds of the quarter here from Lane Tech. It'll be Payton basketball with the length of the court to go. Villegas bringing it up for the Grizzlies. He's been impressive tonight. Left-hand side, passes it off. Ricketts goes up the middle, unable to finish once again, and Goonan will grab the rebounds. Goonan had a three-pointer, but once again, as always, impressive with his rebounding and defense as well. Goonan fakes a three, drives in, and they are going to call him for a travel there. A lot of travels here in the fourth quarter. Maybe both of the teams are tired, but some uncharacteristic and unwanted errors from both of these teams. Really a mass timeout called. 3:44 to go in the game, so both the teams will get a rest. I assume with 7 combined timeouts available for these next two teams, that we will likely see them another timeout called, but the last guaranteed timeout in this game. So it's 47-40. Lane Tech has a 7-point lead, but we've seen Payton score in quick bouts. We've seen them score back-to-back threes, a couple quick baskets, and if they're able to have another one of those, it would be quite dangerous for Lane Tech. So if you're Lane, you want 1 or 2 quick baskets. Payton, you just want 1 or 2 quick stops, and you can very easily be back in this game. 7 points the deficit right now for for Payton with 3:44 to go in the game. Alex Burston on the call here from Lane Gymnasium. A fun one, packed gymnasium on a Friday night for the final time this season. Lane Tech obviously hoping their season is going to go almost a month longer with state playoffs. However, this is probably the biggest crowd at Lane Tech they are going to play in front of for quite some time until next season. It will be Payton basketball. The last time Lane Tech did this type of full court press, they forced a turnover almost right away. This time it will not happen as Ricketts gets it. Moore underneath the basket, and we'll pass it out to Villegas. No worry about the clock for Payton. 3:30, still plenty of time to go as Grunebaum punches it away. And Ricketts will keep possession. Went behind the midcourt line, but no backcourt violation because it was punched away from Grunebaum. 3 on its way, no good. Rebounded there by Springer. 3:15 to go now, quarter number 4. Lane Tech going to continue to try to take some seconds off the clock. They've done good at taking 20, 30 throughout the season on possessions. This time they're in a rush, though, as Salibo misses the 3. Definitely rushed that shot a little bit. I think he thought he had a little bit more room from his defender than he actually did, as Villegas misses the 3, and now Grunebaum off to the races. 2-on-3, Lane Tech does not have the numbers, so they will slow down to reset their offense, and Malloy is going to hold it near midcourt. 2:45 to go. So Lebo now with it. He pulls for 3 and drains it. Shahid Salibo hit shots when they matter most for Lane Tech. Does that tonight, and it is a double-digit lead for Lane with 2:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Malloy almost had a big block there. They'll say there was some contact, though, and it will be 2 free throws for Brennan Moore with 2:25 to go in quarter number 4. Lane Tech has really stepped up their blocking game here in the fourth quarter. This time, not clean, the refs say, but Malloy really got up there to try to block it away. The third foul called. Oh, they called it on Goonan, actually. So not called on Malloy. Well, Goonan must have come from the side or something as Moore makes the first free throw. Moore had 20 this season earlier against Clemente. Not going to score that tonight, but he has 12 points, second most on Payton, and he has been very impressive so far tonight. Moore trying to make it 2 for 2 from the line. 2:25 to go. He does, and it's an 8-point game. We'll see if Payton has to start fouling. This is a problem if you are Payton. You're probably not going to be able to get Lane to the free throw line anytime soon, as there is just 2 fouls called on them all half. Grunbaum chokes it up, but right into the hands of Goonan. Now 2:10 to go. Driving to the basket, Grunbaum gets fouled, and he will head to line to Ricketts. Ricketts fired up after that foul called on him. Did not like it, but Grunbaum will head to the line to shoot a free 2 points. He's been off and on from the line this year, and we'll see what the senior point guard can do here. Big 2 free throws coming up here from Ethan Grunbaum. First shot is up and good. So Lane Tech past the 50-point mark. They were on pace to score 60 at halftime. I'm not sure if they are going to do that, as Grunbaum misses the second. With 2 minutes left, seems unlikely they will, but a couple of quick shots and Lane Tech could get to that 60 points on the evening. 2 minutes to go, quarter number 4 of action. Villegas somehow still has the basketball, unable to finish, almost got the offensive rebound, and now a foul is going to be called against Lane Tech. So a lot of fouls called here. They're going to say Payton thought that was shooting, but he was on the ground, so they are just going to get possession here. 51-42, 154. That was the second foul called on Shahid Salibo. 4th this half against Lane Tech. As Lula back into the game, going to pass it out to Ricketts. Payton seems in no rush to score points. They are still down by 9 here, with 100 seconds left in the game. 3 on its way from Rob. He hits. Timeout will be called by Payton. It is going to be let's see if it's 30 seconds or a full timeout, and a big shot there from Nate Robb, the 6'6 junior. One of the top forwards on this team, really leading the junior class on this team, and he's been a standout all season long. Continues it tonight. He's played in the past against Malloy and Jack Soar, and even with them in some scrimmages with the Lakeview Lakers. A lot of these players have played with each other just because of how many have come through that LVL program. But Rob hoping he can get the last laugh here. Now a 6-point lead for Lane Tech with 94 seconds left. So just to walk us through everything, there is 4 fouls on Lane Tech, so they need, they won't want to get into the bonus, so we won't get into that. 3 fouls for Payton. They have 3 more to give, and then they would send Lane into the free throw line. It is 3 timeouts now left for both teams after that one called for Payton. And as I said at the last timeout, I do not think that's going to be the last timeout called of the night. Sure enough, it's not, and we very well could see a couple more called here in the final 94 seconds of the game. There'll be a Springer, Grunbaum, Malloy, Goonan, and Salibo, your 5 on the court for Lane Tech. Springer getting the late minutes instead of Basil here tonight for Lane Tech, as Malloy is going to inbound it here for Lane Tech. Full court press from Payton. Haven't seen this a lot tonight for them. Looks like they're just hanging man-to-man with their guys for the entire court. Now they back off, and Malloy will bring it up with ease against the Grizzlies. An immediate foul called there on Moore. Doesn't look too upset, so I'm wondering if this is a strategy here from Payton. That is going to be foul number 4 called on them, the second one called on Moore. So now 4 fouls on Payton. They have 2 to give. As checking into the game will be Joe Heidkamp. He checks in for Moore after that foul called on him. Malloy inbounding it. Saliba with the size. That is going to go off of his hand. Lane Sack really wanted a foul called there. It was tight defense from Payton there against Saliba, and possession is going to go to Payton. 51-45, 1:24 to go, quarter number 4. The head coach Nicholas Legalvo still very unhappy with that call, but the Grizzlies will get it back nonetheless. They need a quick basket here, 6-point game. 80 seconds on the clock. Payton trying to cut it to a 1-possession game. They can with a 3. Rob just made a 3, trying to make it 2 in a row. He airballs this one, and Saliba is going to get fouled immediately. That's another one called on Moore, his 3rd tonight. I thought he was subbed out, must have come immediately back in. I'm guessing he's going to head back out now. He will. So checking back in is going to be Heidkamp, and also number 15, Kyle Osterman, comes in for Nate Robb. Interesting there. He made that big 3, but they are going to say it goes back to Lane Sack here. Excuse me, he goes back to the bench here. Another foul called on Payton. So they're just trying to make this into a free throw contest. I think the scoreboard missed 2, so I'm going to put Payton at 6 fouls here, as a full timeout is going to be called. 1:07 to go, 51-45. Looks like Lane Tech will have a chance to extend their lead and clinch this one from the free throw line. They haven't been great from the free throw line. That was actually a full timeout called by Lane Tech. Interesting. I didn't see which bench they pointed to, but I guess it was Lane. They want head coach Nicholas Legalvo and his coaching staff wants 1 more second to talk things over with his team. That was the 3rd foul called on Moore, and I'm not sure who the 2nd foul was called on, but a quick couple of fouls for the Grizzlies. Scoreboard here still only has 5. We'll see what the officials do. I'm pretty sure it was 6 for Payton here, so the next one would send Lane Sack into the bonus. We'll see what the referees say. 67 seconds to go in the game. Really aggressive and fast 5 on the court right now for Payton. They've taken out almost all of their height. Rob not playing and Jack Kendrick not playing. The 6'6" and 6'5" players on this Payton roster. Instead, they're just trying to force some steals and turnovers. Malloy, trouble finding someone to inbound it to. Finally gets it to Saliba, and Saliba gets fouled almost immediately. And I think they're going to say there's 1 more foul to give. So the referees are going to stick with that being the 6th foul. So Payton might have gone away with 1 extra foul here in quarter number 4. And now Malloy's going to inbound it. Gets it to Grunbaum. 1:06 on the court. They get it to Goonan, break the fouls, and now they'll finally foul him. But a couple of lost seconds there from Payton, as Lane Tech was able to get a pass off quicker than they would have liked. And now they'll be at least 1-1 shooting the rest of the way for the Lane Tech basketball team. Up by 6. Stephen Goonan will be shooting 1-1 to try to increase this Lane Tech lead. We haven't seen Goonan at the free throw line much this year, I feel. He's been an impressive player for this team. Usually has a bucket or 2 every single game and has found his way into the starting lineup for this team. However, we'll see what he can do in a very important moment right now. He makes the first one, so he will get a second. Looks as if the strategy here for Payton is just to foul out the rest of the way, but it is now 7-point lead for Lane Tech. Second free throw is good, and the Grizzlies running out of time to do something here. 63 seconds to go. A stop here could seal it for Lane Tech. This one off the knees of Malloy. Springer gets it. He gets fouled immediately, and a big turnover there from the Payton Grizzlies. Lane Tech will have a chance to make it once again a double-digit lead here. Lane Tech fans chanting at the Payton student section. They feel like this one is over. We'll see if the scoreboard says the same in 57.2 seconds. Springer misses the free throw. Malloy with some tight defense there, but way too easy for Villegas there, getting to the basket A timeout is going to be called by Payton. Head coach Ross Burt of Payton nearly ran onto the court there. He did run onto the court, yelling for a timeout. So with that basket, it is a 6-point game. So Payton not going away easily in this one. 49.1 seconds to go. That's probably exactly what you wanted to do. They could have gone a foul on that for an and one. They didn't get that. So that's the only negative on that drive for Payton. However, they get the quick two, and they only take a little over 10 seconds left in the clock. And it's just a 2-possession game now, and Lane Tech's going to have the length of the court to go. 2 timeouts left for each team here. Now the scoreboard's correct with 8 fouls on Payton. So still just the single bonus for Lane Tech. 2 more fouls will put them in the double bonus. And now you have some strategy for Payton. It's a 2-possession game. If you send Lane Tech to the line, you have the chance for them to make it a 3-possession game. There is no shot clock, but we'll see what they do here. Interesting stuff, decision making for the Grizzlies, and looks like they're not going to foul, or they're just not able to foul. So leave it wide open. They get to Springer. He's going to get fouled right underneath the basket. And just beautiful execution there from Lane Tech. What, they got 3 passes off with guys trying to foul them? Take 8 seconds off the clock, and Springer's still going to get free throws. Was very close to getting an and one or having a clean shot off. However, Springer will now head to the line and missed his first one, so didn't get a second on the last possession for Lane Tech. We'll see what they can do here. First shot, no good, so Springer misses 2 for Lane Tech in crunch time, and a timeout is going to be called by, looks like, Lane Tech here. Or maybe it's not a timeout. The refs are talking some things over. Players aren't head to the bench, and they're just going to have them redo the inbound for some reason. So a couple seconds came off the clock. Now 39 seconds to go. Lane Tech's not going to press. They don't want to foul. That's the one thing you do not want to do if you're Lane Tech right now. And Payton will bring it up the court. Villegas, who goes up for 2, and no, not going to have a chance to. A travel there from the point guard. Jack Soar's going to check in for Lane Tech. And nice job there from Lane Tech. They don't get the foul called. And now 32.2 seconds into the game. A couple subs on for Payton, and Jack Soar comes in for Lane Tech. Goonan is going to inbound things here, gets it to Grunebaum, and they fouled him right away. Looks like the whistle might have blown before contact was even made on Grunebaum, but he would have gotten fouled either way, maybe got the pass off, but he'll head to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. I think that, or this should actually be double bonus for Lane Tech. It will be, so that is team foul number 10 on Payton. And Grunebaum is going to get 2 no matter what. If he makes one of them, I think it's safe to say this one's over. It would be a 3-possession game with just a hair over half a minute to go here in quarter number 4. Ethan Grunebaum goes up for the first shot, misses it. He'll get a second one. Lane Tech missing the free throws when they need them. If they had made at least one of those 1-and-1s, the first one and that one, it would have been a 9-point game right now. Instead, it is a 6-point game, and that is 4 straight misses from the charity stripe for Lane Tech, keeping Payton in this one. 24 seconds to go in the game. Payton keeping it close with a red conference opponent. They've done everything right. They'll see if they can finish. Villegas somehow was able to get open for the 2 there and score, so he avenges a travel with a quick 2 points. Payton calls timeout, and it's a 4-point game here with 13.9 seconds left. Timeout called by the Grizzlies. It is a full timeout called by them, so they want as much time as possible to talk things over. They have this 1 timeout remaining, 13.9 seconds left in this one. I don't even know if you'd consider it a miracle. It's a pretty close game. 4 points, so it's still technically 2 possessions, but they can get some free throw misses, which is what Lane Tech has all been doing here in the 4th quarter, and also make some quick shots. You really don't even need a 3 right now. It might be quicker, but they can easily go up for the 3. 53-39, 13.9 seconds to go, quarter number 4. It'll be Lane Tech basketball, I believe, out of the timeout. We'll check on that. So So both the teams having one last talk with their head coaches. This game's been pretty well coached from both teams. Payton, you come into this one and you'd think Lane Tech would be able to pull away easily. They have the better record. They played in the better conference. But the Grizzlies have done what they've needed to be in a position to tie and win this here at the end of the game. Jack Sorb will get will get fouled with 11.9 seconds to go. And we'll see if it is possible for Tsor to finally make a free throw, something we have not seen from Lane Tech in their last 4 attempts. Tsor hasn't been super loud from the scoring today. However, he has made 1 free throw and 5 points overall for him as he misses the first one. 5 straight misses from the free throw stripe for Lane Tech. Just brutal free throw shooting down the stretch here from Lane. We'll see what they can do here. 11.9 seconds now. Second free throw. That one's good. Finally breaks that bad streak for Lane Tech. 5-point lead for Lane. Lula underneath the basket. Had one last second to throw off a pass, and that will be good from Moore. So Payton is going to call their final timeout, and it is a 2-point game with 4.6 seconds to go. When you thought this one might be over, I hope you guys did not lose your computer screens. It is a 2-point game with 4.6 seconds to go. The bright side for Lane Tech, they have possession. However, fouling, I'm guessing if you're Payton right now, especially considering how Lane Tech has been playing, you foul immediately. You hope half a second comes off, maybe a second, and then you have the length of the court to go for either a 3-pointer to win or a 3-pointer to tie it if Lane Tech gets one. If Lane Tech gets fouled and makes 2 free throws, that very well could do the game. Definitely not the best performance we've seen from Lane all season long. These last couple of games, Lane was hoping to get some easy wins and really ease into the state playoffs, where, as we mentioned, they're going to be an underdog heading into their first-round matchup. I can tell you, Lane Tech is not going to be contending for a regional final if they play like this the rest of the way out. 54-52, Lane Tech looking like they'll be held under 60 once again here. And Payton looking for some magic here. 4 seconds to go in the game. Goonan inbounds it to Malloy. Malloy's able to get almost 2 seconds off the clock. So Malloy, impressive there, able to run the sideline for a little bit. It was, I think, 1.7 seconds total, and it is going to be very hard for Payton to get a shot off. And here's the best part for Lane Tech. You have Sean Malloy at the line. He's not going to miss both of these. He very well could make both of them. Obviously, Lane's not been shooting the ball well, but you have Sean Malloy, who has he has 10 tonight. I don't think he scored in this second half, but we'll see if he can here. First free throw is good. Crowd loves it, and it's a 3-point lead for Lane Tech. Biggest shot of the night here from Lane Tech. Couple subs into the game. They're going to send Moore, as you can see here, all the way down, but Lane Tech is putting all 4 of their guys into the other side where Payton is going to try to score. Malloy, 2.9 seconds on the clock, can clinch the win here. He gets it. Big free throw shooting here from Sean Malloy. Ricketts is going to pull for 3, doesn't get it, and Lane Tech takes the victory. Harder than they would have wanted it to be, but they pull away with a 4-point win, 56-52. Sean Malloy finishes with 12, Shahid Saliba with 18, 19 points from Julian Villejas for Payton to go along with 16 from Moore and 11 from Rob. That little big 3 from Payton was great tonight, but Lane Tech is able to pull away with a 4-point win here on Friday night. A great atmosphere here at Lane Tech, and we're going to be back in less than 24 hours. A 3 p.m. tip-off, 2:50 pregame between Lane Tech and Maine East, as Lane will hope to make it 2 in a row. They advanced to 17-9 on the year. Payton drops to 12-10, gets loss number 10 on the year. That should just about do our coverage here from Lane Gymnasium. Great fan turnout on silent night for Lane Tech, and it is going to be a victory for them as well. Your final score here from Lane Gymnasium: Lane Tech 56, Payton 52. My name is Alex Burstein. Good night.